I didn't think it was like, no, you've got to keep denying it. So I went and basically just leaked it, essentially, that I was on it.
So those public leak.
Yeah, completely. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Weekly Freestyle with myself, Tom Dean, my co-host, Alex Sutton. We're sat in a very, very formal setting. I don't know if anyone is watching. If you're just on the audio, then I'm in full office attire, as is Sut. We both have quartzips on, formal shoes, and we're actually sat in an office, a top secret TWF location, actually, that cannot be disclosed in Maidenhead. But no, we're both quite formal today, both had quite fun working days, which we will get into, I'm sure. This is episode 53.
53. Series 6.
Series 6. So really, really exciting. Thanks for joining us for another episode. Sutz, do you want to give a little rundown why we're both so formally dressed?
Yeah, well, if we told you where we were right now, we'd have to kill you. That's the first thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Why am I formally dressed? Well, because I'm required to be formally dressed.
Yeah.
I set the standard. But we've just been across to Windsor, Windsor Leisure Centre, one of the wonderful locations for Tom Dean Swim School.
Yep.
So that was great fun. Really good chatting to teachers and students there. So that was great. And you've been in London as well today.
I was in London today giving a talk with my mum in town, which was good fun. So yeah, just a little bit, just normal, we do a little double act actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I talk about kind of my journey in high performance stuff, and then she talks about like, raising myself, my brothers and sisters, and then do a little Q&A. So it was fantastic, really good. But yeah, came straight from there to Maidenhead, to Windsor, to visit one of the swim schools, meet all the teachers, and then back here to record, and then back home some food, and then back here to swim. So busy on Monday.
A lot of back and forth, and we've got one of our favourite producers, Ryan, in the room with us. So we'd like to thank him for his time today making this happen.
Yeah.
But he's found us a wonderful location, so let's get cracking. Paris Ponderings Part 2, but before we get into it, a little catch up. You've been back in Bath. How's that been going?
Yeah,
are you feeling the water yet?
Back in Bath, not quite feeling the water just yet, but training again, which has been good fun. Nice to see everyone, nice to see Dave. No, it takes a while to build up. You lose your feel quite quickly. So when you haven't swum for 5 months, you really, really do lose it. But the sessions are quite steady going. Slowly building up. What else have I done? So I did that, and then I saw Ben Proud, my friend of the pod, on Friday night. We still need to get him on as a guest, actually.
I think he should be our first guest.
I think he's first guest. Do
you think you could pull a few strings there?
I see what I can do. He's a hard man to get hold of, but I reckon I'll be able to swing a few things. Went around his, went for a bit of food, went on a golf simulator actually, and then had a nice night together. That sounds like we.
Yeah, a nice night. We'll leave that there.
Yeah. So and then Saturday was a bit of a chill one, and actually played 18 holes on Sunday. Shot 84.
That's pretty good for those people who don't play golf.
For those people who don't play golf.
What kind of level is that?
Okay, for those people who don't play golf, so it's okay. It's not bad. I was really, really happy with it. I was really strict, so I did a full 18 holes of golf, kept my score, and it was okay. I was pretty chuffed with it. For those non-golfers out there, and then it was a pretty relaxed rest of the Sunday, and just wrote my speech that I delivered this morning.
Wonderful. And while you were out on the golf course gallivanting, I was actually watching one of our good friends at a Masters meet. And this was one of my first experiences of seeing sort of Masters swimming in action.
I'll explain what Masters swimming is for the people.
So I was down at Crawley, the K2 arena, which is something that you're very familiar with. And Masters swimming, from what I can understand, it's kind of that level of when you reach maybe 18 years old, or outside of kind of the club scene.
Yeah. No, because you can still swim for Maidenhead stuff. It's for older people, older individuals.
But there are still youngsters there.
Yeah, well, our friend is 25, 6.
Yeah.
So he's
still young.
25 to 30 age category. There was a 95 to 100 age category competitor there. Obviously taking the dub because there are not many competitors in that age category, unfortunately.
I wasn't there to watch. I watched on Sunday morning, saw a nice 200 freestyle, brilliantly executed. But I heard that I think a lady in the 90 age category, she got in because she starts in the pool, but they actually then made her get out, which I think is quite harsh.
That's a bit brutal.
So she had to get in, get out, sort what was happening, then she was back in and she did her freestyle.
Not really a laughing matter though, because I reckon she'd still have you over 200 metres.
I think that's true. There we go.
Sorry.
So I wasn't competing, which you'll be glad to know, but maybe one day.
100 to 105 age category.
I'll give it a crack. But no, it was good down there. Pretty impressive setup. But you know Crawley fairly well.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Crawley at the K2.
Do you miss doing those kind of meets?
I don't. I used to get so nervous when I was a kid swimming. I used to get deadly nerves. I remember being at K2 just absolutely petrified of racing. I don't know why, I just used to get so nervous. We used to do camps there and I'd spend the whole weekend in that pool, just really not enjoying it. So a lot of my childhood was spent in K2 Crawley.
I think I had quite a nice experience of it because I was there specifically for a 2 minutes 18 slot. That was our friend's freestyle time, which is pretty respectable. But then I could leave. I didn't have to be there on Saturday, waiting for a race on the afternoon, back on Sunday, and then the same again. So
swimming is just so long. That's what they need to change about swimming. Is just like how long. I mean, it's like if you're a football player, you go to a football match on a weekend. You just do the match. You go home. You socialise stuff like that for the parents as well. Swimming, you're there 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. twice. 2 days in a row, Saturday, Sunday, and then you're back to work on the Monday.
How many flat whites is that?
Oh,
Saturday and Sunday.
Ridiculous.
The people working in the cafe, they had bling, Armani,
Rolexes right up there.
all of the cash they've taken the flat whites.
Turning up in Ferraris.
I'll tell you what though, it was hot. I had a sip and it blew my head off.
There we go. That's not going high on your flat white ranking list. Then.
No, it's right down the bottom. But yeah, that was good fun.
The TWF dive in.
News of the week. I've got a couple of stories that I found. I've dug them out thanks to Swim Swam. I think we've got one Whiffin in the NCAAs.
Yeah.
But there's chat of maybe a second one
really?
Going.
Like Daniel Waffan.
The Whiffins. What do you think about that? And just in terms of maybe a professional athlete who's used to competing in the Olympics going to the NCAA, is that an easy transition to make?
I don't really know. I don't actually know where he trains right now, to be honest. Oh no, I tell a lie, he's in Loughborough. He was with Andy Manley.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Loughborough. I think there are a lot of changes going on. So NC2As, yeah, I mean, does it work for long distance swimmers? It's hard to say, as in it's not a blanket rule. People often say it works better for sprinters because of the short yard pools and the emphasis on the weight programs. I think he said he's going to Cal, maybe.
That's what I heard.
Which would be good. I mean, it's a good group there, I think. So he's going to do well.
Who else is at Cal?
I think Ryan Murphy's there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a backstroker. I couldn't tell you off the top of
I wonder how that's going to work.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one.
Long distance backstroke, is that
the 1500 metre backstroke? Not really an event, is it? So I don't know. I actually don't know. But no, and then you got to look at eligibility. How many years NC2A eligibility do you have?
It's important.
You got to think, will his training line up with the NC2As or will it line up with champs? But then I guess if he's representing Ireland, he hasn't really got to do much for champs. Nothing against the Irish.
There's no offence there.
Of top level swimmers. So
he is so good as well.
He is
both,
unreal.
Both of them. So
that's what I'm saying. He doesn't even need to go to trials. He's that good.
Even if he was at British champs.
Oh yeah, especially in long distance. We've just not really got any long distance swimmers
at the moment. So that's interesting news. We'll keep an eye on that. NCAAs, is that something you've ever considered?
Yeah, I looked at it actually. I was going to go out to the US.
I remember you were getting scouted from. There were people from American universities coming to your summer parties.
Yeah, I had a guy from Ohio State University turn up at my house and just give him whatever the name of my house or whatever.
We're going to timestamp that.
Okay. I had someone from Ohio State University turning up to my house in Maidenhead to try and recruit me to swim there.
I mean, there's working hard and then there's working overtime.
Going from Columbus, Ohio to the M4 junction.
And the best thing is, he was unsuccessful.
Yeah, unlucky, mate. Nice guy though. But yeah, I got a lot of offers to go to America. I didn't, I was thinking about it, and then just before I was going to accept one of my coaches, Paul Lloyd at Maidenhead, I said I think you should stick in Great Britain, and I did, and I'm glad I did.
And there we go. The rest is history, as they say. But yeah, we wish the Whiffins the best of luck wherever they may end up.
Wise words.
It's always been said. I've got some other news, but maybe I want to hold it for next week because it's some good stuff. It's Olympic related, so we'll come back to that.
TWF. Topic of the week.
And this is off the back of last week's episode, which focused on Paris Part 1, where we took a little bit of a dive into kind of prep for the games, the village, and also starting with the 4x100 metre freestyle relay, which was an interesting chat with yourself. So if you haven't listened to that, go back to that. There are a few clips on our Instagram, the Weekly Freestyle, and also on YouTube, which we're working hard to pick up those views. So we'll keep doing that. But this week I really wanted to chat about the golden 4x2, the 200 IM, which was your individual event at the games, which obviously featured Leon Marchand quite heavily, and then also maybe just a sort of a short reflection on the games. Now we can look back at it in the cold light of day. I think that's the saying. So let's start with the 4x2. Obviously, I'm sure you've spoken about this a lot. Maybe you've spoken about it too much, but I just wanted to get into it for the podcast. Can you talk us through, I want to break it down into the day, the race, and then sort of just afterwards when you're out of the pool. How was that day? Because obviously you did have a morning swim and you did have an evening swim. And I think this is within the context that the team were hot favourites.
Yeah, we were favourites by quite a way. So we just knew we had to basically get the job done. It literally wasn't even like we wanted to be safe and we wanted to be smart and almost swim boring races where it's just not rolling the dice and anything, you just get the job done. Did the heat swim, I think I anchored it 146, I think, but it felt just switched off the back end, so we were so far ahead. Really steady going, no stress whatsoever. Made it through into the final. It's the same four boys. I kind of knew it was going to be those four lads, me, Duncan, Matt and Jimmy. Progressed through to the final, and then there are a few whisperings of a world record and stuff like that, but Dave, like my coach, and it's his relay, he never likes to talk about the world record. So for us it was just go there, and everyone needed to execute kind of clever, mature swims, not be crazy out fast or anything like that. The actual race, Jimmy went in first, went a good time, 145 low, one of his best times he's ever gone actually, which is brilliant. And then I think I was second. I had to go from Jim, hit the water, and I was with Carson Foster, and I knew he was a 143 man.
Yeah.
Because he had split 143 earlier that season, so I thought, right, I'm going to keep him in my periphery.
Because Jimmy, actually, let's just go back before. So you mentioned it was Dave's relay.
Yeah.
What does that mean if you're managing a relay from his perspective? So, is he chatting to you in the morning, but ahead of that, and then again, obviously before the afternoon? Is he getting you in a room together? What kind of things is he saying to you to try and impact the way you guys are swimming?
So if it's your relay, then you... So you'll speak to the team in the holding camp, prepping for it, and you'll do some relay takeover practice, and you might talk about orders, and you might talk about who's going to get picked for the heat, who's going to get picked for the finals, some of your thinkings around it. They'll speak to the analysis team and think about best orders and who should go and do all that kind of stuff, who should do it. And then you'll walk your team up to the cool room for the heat. You'll do the heat, and then you will present to the head coach and the rest of the coaches the order that you think should be done that night. So that's
purely Dave's shout on kind of orders.
So it's Dave's, he presents what he thinks should happen. The other coaches discuss it, and they often will fight for their own swimmers to get a spot. It's Bill Finesse, the head coach at the time. It's his final say, but heavily influenced by Dave's thinking and Dave's reasoning. And you want to make it as easy as possible. You don't want to make it that your coach has to fight for your spot in the final. You want to make it as easy as possible to get picked for that final. So we all did enough. And it was a pretty straightforward pick between the four of us. Also, you draw on experience, you draw on like how much they've been racing through the week, what form they're on, all that kind of stuff. So and then Dave walks you up for the final and he kind of gives you a talk and he says, look, just swim smart swims, don't go on the second 50, just hold off, and we've all got strong finishes, that's our strength. And we always get it, the Americans will start to close down, they all start going crazy, and then we always have strong finishes and they always die.
Is that because they front load?
It's just they get too excited in relays. We saw
it's
it
easy
World
to do.
Champs in 2023. It's just like they get so wound up over relays and stuff. Because it's such like America. All this.
Well, maybe it comes from the NCAA as well.
I think so. Yeah. And they are great relay swimmers as well,
Yeah.
and they love Team USA and representing, which is we all do. But I've seen it so many times in that 4x2 where they just go like a shot, and they're just holding on for dear life down the back end. And I had it at the World Champs. I anchored the World Champs in 2023, and I had Kieran Smith with me the whole way, and just held him off, and then went on the last 50. And that's what I wanted to do at Paris as well. So I had Carson Foster in the water, and I just kept him in my periphery, held him kind of on my side, on my hip, and then went on the last 50. And I thought, right, I'm closing, I'm pulling away here. So I dove in first, finished in first. I thought I was going to go a quicker time than I went, because he's a 143 swimmer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go quite quick here. I was actually 145 flat, and he was also 145 low. So
okay, that's interesting.
Just kind of knocked me a little bit. Maybe I relied on him slightly too much, but I think because of my races that season, I almost didn't have that kind of normal, like, invincible confidence I have going into a lot of my races, where I know my fitness levels and I know where I am so well that I can just go for it. This was more like, okay, just do what you need to do, essentially. Just do not blow up down that back end. I was almost so scared of that happening that I just put through a very solid, normal swim. Matt did the same. Duncan came home and did a cracking last leg, and as soon as he hit the water, I was like, we've won this gold medal, and it was really, really special. And it was a great feeling, and obviously family and friends were all there. A lot of our friends were there as well, which was nice to see them and celebrate. And it was nice to step on the top of an Olympic podium with a crowd and with the family there as well.
And because I guess that was kind of the first time that you could maybe really take in the atmosphere and actually enjoy an Olympic moment as such within the kind of the company of your family, but also the spectators and your coaches and your team, and actually relax, because obviously you'd experienced it in the days running up to it, but it must be different to be able to kind of breathe, hear the national anthem, and then just enjoy that kind of, was it 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, it was really cool. And then you like lap of victory, which is cool. I just wish I'd won that 200 meters in front of a crowd. You know, you win an individual Olympic gold in front of a crowd. That would have been really, really cool. As in when I won in Tokyo, I wish there had been a crowd there, because that would have been special. Because obviously when it's all on a team, it's fantastic. But obviously you share that between 4 guys. If it's just on you, I think, you know, and the whole stadium's looking at you, that would be quite cool as well. But no, to step on the podium and hear the anthem, you know, you can never ever get used to that. It was really, really cool. It was a special evening. Yeah,
there was quite a viral moment that went with that, when I think it was Jim was using one of the. Was it?
The poster that
what was it? He was using it as like a golf club, which was
foregrip,
which is quite neat. And there was also there was a clip that because obviously I'd say our friend Paris Ponderings was commentating, and actually the main thing I was thinking about, there's a really nice clip where you kind of had that moment with it was mainly your family.
Yeah.
And kind of how did that feel, kind of walking across? Because I think previously in Tokyo you were kind of there just with your team.
I don't know, it was almost, it was weird, because it's been a really tough year. It was almost relief instead of like actual enjoyment. And it was like, okay, we got it done. Whatever happens, we got the gold. Like, we've got the Olympic gold medal locked in. So it was almost relief at that point. And I've heard about other people who have like defended Olympic titles, and they've actually said the same. Yeah. You know, the first time's like complete elation, and then the second time's just more relief. And that's what it was. So it was just like, okay, we've done it. Like, all that work and all the tough times, okay, we've got that locked in now, and then you kind of share that moment with your family. So yeah, it was really, really nice to have everyone there, compared to Tokyo. Yeah, and
I think people can kind of relate with that feeling of relief, as opposed to kind of the pure ecstasy of winning something that maybe you didn't completely expect, or it was kind of, there was a chance, and for you guys to defend it. But I think you guys had to go up there and do a job, which you certainly did, and in time you'll be able to look back on that and really enjoy those memories. And how was that the evening after winning gold? Because you hear a lot about late nights, the media, and actually that can be the tricky thing to sort of manage. How was that in terms of dealing with the worldwide media and also the British media? Because I know, although Team GB was very successful, but actually in terms of golds in the pool,
it's the only one we got.
That was it really. And obviously, swimming at the Olympics is one of the key sports. So
we got loads of golds in Tokyo, didn't we?
Yeah. Not me, you.
Yeah. Loads of golds between us. Well, in Tokyo I won the 200, Adam won the 100, and we won the 4x2, and they won the 4x1 mixed medley.
Yeah.
4 gold medals. And we just got the 1 in the relay this time around. So it was weird. I did some media. I got asked about Strictly there, actually.
That was a bit of a.
Caught me off guard.
You got. I don't think you did get done in there.
Mugged off. Well, they were like.
So when was this, on the evening of or the morning of? So the evening.
So I've been texting in the morning from my agent. He said, just heads up, they know about Strictly.
Right.
But we've held off until after the final for them to say something. So did the final. Yeah, won the goal. Went round, still dripping wet, and they were like,
was this poolside?
This was up in the mix zone.
Okay.
So a little bit off poolside after we'd spoken to Sharon, and they go.
Sharon didn't do you dirty.
No, Sharon would never. No. And they go, you bet you're really excited to get home and get stuck into Strictly. And
it's quite a tough question to field there.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, they do know, so it is out there now.
That's a good question.
So I can just say, basically. I know the word's out there, so I can admit it now. So I said, look, I'm just, that's for the summer, that's for the future. I'm just focusing really.
Which I think is quite a good answer.
All my energy on the rest of my races here at the Olympic Games and enjoying my experience here. But of course, I'm looking forward to that in the summer or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was that. I didn't think it was like, no, you've got to keep denying it. So I went and basically just leaked it, essentially, that I was on it.
It's the most public leak going.
Yeah, completely. So, Yeah, and then I just had, my phone started kind of blowing up a little bit, and people saying, "Is this a joke? Are you actually on it?" and stuff like that. But I had I had a day off, and then I had the 2 a.m. like not long after it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just need to put that to the back.
Because then, did you then do an interview in the day? Was there another one off the back of that, and then it kind of
something like
it
that.
snowballed a little bit? But yeah, it was a little bit of a tricky situation, I think.
Yeah.
But putting myself in your shoes, you're in the midst of pretty serious competition, and that's kind of the last thing you want to be thinking about there.
Yeah.
But no, it was a special night, special evening, and we had a few sort of not yourself, but we had a few drinks to celebrate in the Speedo. After what's it called? The Speedo Cafe, which is literally just opposite the Defence Arena.
Just J2O's on tap.
And it was, I think it was fair to say we were sort of celebrating for you, the royal we, which was good to do, and we were all back in work the next morning, so it was all absolutely fine.
Yeah, you were a bit worse for wear.
A little bit worse for wear, but I was in work the next morning speaking to one of Team GB's top psychologists.
Team GB's finest.
My psychology was on point for that, and then we went to the golf, and I enjoyed sort of seeing Rory McIlroy.
So I mean, do share. You were feeling slightly unwell.
Yeah, I think as it would only be fair to do, it's important to celebrate your friends' achievements. Whether that be Crawley K2, the La Défense Arena, or elsewhere. And the J20s were flowing, but I struggled to see Rory McIlroy putt because I was the other side of the green, just having a little moment to myself.
Feeling slightly.
But it's important to do. Great. It's important to do. While
Rory McIlroy was putting at the Olympic Games,
I was throwing up in a bush. But it is what it is. And I think you had a day off.
Yeah.
So I was just...
Oh, no, we both had days off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a day off, you had an off day.
And a day off.
Have a day off, mate.
So I ultimately was just warming up for the 200 IM because that's more business, your individual race of the meet. How did you feel coming towards this? And from a British sense, you and Duncan Scott are kind of the two sort of out and out IMers we have in the country. How did you sort of judge your chances going into things and looking ahead of the rounds that you have to navigate ahead of you?
I thought I could have got a medal. I knew I wasn't going to beat Leon. I thought I could have been up there with Duncan. I'd won a medal the year before at the World Champs and being really close to Duncan.
At World Champs you came third, didn't you?
Came third at the World Champs, yeah.
That was that famous 5 Live commentary where I think it was Steve Parry said something like, "It will be a miracle."
Yeah. In all fairness, I turned up 150
We should get that clip up. We should clip that.
I turned up 150 metres in 7th.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Halfway point in last place.
Yeah.
And I got a medal. I did have a rapid last 50 in all fairness. I was quite chuffed with that. And I knew I've got potential in the IM and my backstroke had moved on loads. So I was like, I know I can medal. I'm convinced I can medal. I woke up the morning after my relay and I was riddled with illness.
Yeah.
I was not in a good way. That's the first time I'd been ill, because they obviously track the illnesses within British swimming. That's the first time I've been ill in 2 years.
Really?
First time since Commonwealth Games. I had a chest infection at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. And I was not in a good way. As I woke up and I knew something was really, really wrong. And you almost don't want to admit it to yourself. But I went to the pool and I was on all these like throat sprays and nasal trying to clear.
Or Boots. I tried to get something from Boots.
Oh God,
there was none left because they said.
I literally was on. I was having like vitamin C and like hydro tabs, just anything and everything to try and make me feel better. I was riddled, mate. And I get to the pool and did a warm up, and Dave was like, "Are you okay?" I was like,
"Yeah, I'm fine."
I was like, "I really don't feel good, Dave. I'm not in a good way." And he goes, "What?" I was like, "I'm really ill. I'm really not in a good way." And then obviously you've got to think about getting other people ill and stuff, so you have to kind of self-isolate and stuff and move away. 24 hours before my individual Olympic race. And I woke up in the morning of my race, I was like, bloody hell, this is not... It's not what you want for the climax of a 3-year cycle.
It's been such a tough year, and I felt like I'd just been kicked one more time. I don't mean to feel down, I sound down or start moping around or anything like that, but I was like, what a hand I've been dealt here. And I just kind of limped through the heat, got into the semi, did an okay swim in the semi, got through to the final, and I was like, right, actually I might be able to hold on here for the final. I knew I had a bit more to give from the heat. And also,
from the semi, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say, coming into the final, we didn't manage to get into the stadium for that, so we were actually across the road in a bar where they had big screen TVs. We refused to buy food because we were only going in to watch your race. But the reason I say that is because obviously that was almost one of the big events. You know, Marchand is going in there. Obviously yourself and Duncan from a British perspective, but a final with Marchand on, you're not going to find a bigger event in that arena. And also
the Olympic Games, really.
The IM, and was he going for world records there?
He was, every race pretty much.
So even from a French perspective, but also from a swimming perspective, you know, that was again a huge moment, a huge race.
I sat in the call room, obviously not feeling great. Knew Duncan was on good form. It's not where you want to be. It's not headspace you want to be in.
Yeah.
I speak about like where I was in the call room for my 200 free at Tokyo, and it was just in this perfect flow state. I was so ready. And it's just not where I wanted to be one bit. I just didn't feel right. I really didn't feel right in myself. I didn't feel comfortable or anything like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm about to walk out for an Olympic final in Paris with France's top athlete right now in front of 20,000 people. Like whatever you say, it's going to be mega. And I walked out, and obviously last to walk out with Leon, and the roof just came off that place. I've never heard anything like it. It was just, and I just remember standing there, took a moment. I was just like, yeah. Whatever happens, this is quite cool, you know, and you just almost got to resign yourself to that fact slightly. Did the race, fly split was good, backstroke really pushed it, fastest ever backstroke split. Got halfway through the breaststroke and my chest just did not feel good, and I started to lock up and my hands start to kind of almost cramp up through my forearms, and I was like, this is not good, this is really not good. Turned breaststroke to free.
Tough.
We'll have to bleep that out, but I'm just swinging for home. Got my hand on the wall, fifth.
You still, yeah, I mean, you
Fifth,
still
I think,
did
fifth,
nicely,
like
yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is, mate. And then finished. I knew that was my Olympics over. I went round to Dave, and I just remember like just breaking down. To be honest with you, I was after that year, and obviously winning the gold in the relay was great, but you know, falling short on things like the 200 free, and then having watched the 200 free a few days earlier, sat there and watched a race that was so close, and that was, you know, half a second.
Anyone could have won that race.
Anyone could have won it, and half a second slower than I'd been just 12 months before. And I was sat there thinking, I could have won that. And then you're like, that was my chance to become the first person to ever defend a 200 metre title. And I genuinely believed I was going to be able to do it at the start of that year. So to kind of have to swallow that pill, and then, you know, the relay was great, but it was almost not given, but it was, you know, we were really confident into it. And then the 2 a.m. with the illness and stuff, it's just like, and I never want to be one to make excuses or anything like that. So when I sit there and I tell the story of being ill and stuff, I always, you know, it's not great, but yeah, I remember just going around to Dave and I was all over the place, and I think I was just glad to be done almost. And that's why I didn't stay out in the village, actually. I was just like, I need to go home. I'm just Olympics out almost, and I was like, just get me back to my family home, basically. And I think that's why I didn't want to go in a pool for 6 months. So I was just so done with it and done with the sport. Not disillusioned, but like just needing a break, I think. And I did that 6 months, and now I'm like rearing to go, and I'm really enjoying it again. And I want to go to LA, and I want to win medals, and I think I can still win medals individually, and I want to be up there in the 200 free and the 200 AM. Like, I know I can still do that. But yeah, I just remember finishing that last race and just, I was like, I'm done for a while. I think.
Yeah, and I think there are reflections, if you were just to listen to this episode in isolation, I think potentially people would hear you kind of saying that, being like, oh, you know, with the illness stuff, maybe you'd say certain things about, oh, you know, on the day performing, and kind of that potentially your attitude toward things. But in the grand scheme of things, and knowing who you are and going back to previous performances, you know, that you're not one of those people to sort of, you know, shy away from the big occasion as some people may do. So actually there are sort of lessons and life lessons. I'd say obviously that, you know, there's real positives there, but by the sounds of things, you know, there are things that, you know, you're disappointed by the season. Is there kind of one thing you can kind of take away or learn and kind of bring those towards being a positive?
Yeah, I could not have done more last year with the Olympic year. I couldn't have given any more of myself to that year. I did not, you know, fall short in any of my training, as in what I gave to the pool. I just was in such a position where I almost couldn't give everything, and I wasn't. You know, I was in the bin for most of the year. Like, I just couldn't have given anything else. And that, I take a lot of pride in that. I can put my hands up and say I couldn't have done anything more. I left everything in the pool, and what will be will almost be at that point. The year before, I gave everything, and it worked out with 4 medals at the World Champs. And this year, I gave everything, and it just meant 1 medal at the kind of on the world stage. So, yeah, I take pride in that fact. And whatever people say about illness and missing out on the 200 free and only getting kind of rocking up for 1 Olympics and not being able to back up for the other, I know I can sleep easy knowing that I genuinely couldn't have done any more. So I take pride in that.
There we go. Well, no, I just want to thank you for kind of, taking us through that so eloquently.
The Weekly Freestyle. Anything goes.
As long as your turns are legal.
Podmates. Podmates, here we
Wow.
go. Do you need have you got your mic? Do you want a mic?
I can talk into this.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Podmates.
Podmates.
What we're going to do is, Tom, you're going to write 3 questions about yourself.
Right. Oh, it's like Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
No, it's
exactly.
Podmates.
Sorry.
Not
Peas in a pod.
It's Podmates.
Podmates.
Can I write it on
Podmates.
my...
So you can write it on your phone. Alex, you're going to do the same.
Okay. The last notes page I have is our golf game where we are playing skins and every hole was worth a coffee.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can I ask you one?
Neither of us.
Mr. Fraud Withers.
Neither of us. Okay, I'm ready. What do I have to do?
So you have to write
Oh, sorry.
3 questions
Yeah. About myself.
about yourself, like a certain popular ITV game show.
Tough questions.
Tough questions that Tom should hopefully know the answer.
I think this is maybe quite a nice thing to do as we kind of relaunch. If people
Yeah.
maybe have tuning in for the first time, they can get to know us a little bit more.
So that's my first question on Podmates is, what are my middle names?
I know this. You got 2.
2 middle names.
Your first full name, your name is Thomas.
Correct.
The second name is quite a common name.
It is.
It's William.
Correct.
And the third name is quite a weird name. And
Oh my god.
and it's Darnton.
Correct. Darnton.
That is shocking, isn't it? How do I know that? Oh, the reason I know that is because I think your race entries have them all.
Do they?
Yeah.
Thomas William Darnton Dean. There we go.
Pretty
Right.
strong from me. Right, so it's 1 point to me. Okay, my question is, which rugby position did I play?
Winger.
No, scrum half. 1 in 15. That's, if you knew me, you should know that.
Yeah. Okie dokie. 1-0. Wow.
1-0 on Podmates.
Okay, my second question is...
We could make a little thingy for
Pass
this.
that little thing.
Podmates.
Do a little harmony.
Yes.
Right, my second question is, what were my...
Sorry, I was just going to say I usually lose these games.
Yeah, you do. What were my A-level subjects?
Do you do 4?
Yes.
Did you make it through your A-levels unlike your degree?
Maths.
Maths. Maths.
Yeah.
Further maths.
Yeah.
Physics.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Shall I might hit him with the same question actually. I'm going to go same question.
Okay, yours were geography,
Yeah.
biology,
Yeah.
and maths.
Ooh, economics.
Oh my god!
It's 2-0. It's out of reach. It's a bit like Marshall on the 200 IM. Uncatchable. Okay. I'm 2-0 up.
Still with 1 to play.
Yeah. Okay, it's your question again.
Okay, last one is,
To make it 3-0.
where were my first European Junior Championships?
Israel.
Where? I need the city.
So Israel.
I need the city.
Yeah, okay. Don't think it was in Jerusalem.
Oh my god, getting political.
We can cut this bit. I will think, can I come back to you? I'm trying to think of places in
Come
Israel.
back to me in the next 10 seconds.
I'm trying to think of places in Israel.
Uh-oh.
Um,
The geography A-level. All those economics lessons not coming handy now.
I'm going to get back to you. My question is, what's my 1500 PB to the second?
Okay, so 1500 metres, you wanted to dip under 4 minutes for
Yeah.
this, and you went 3:57.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And what was your other
And
question?
you swam in Israel in, what does it begin with?
An N.
No, I'm not going to get it.
Netanya.
Yeah, I would
Netanya,
never have got
Israel.
that.
What was your other question? You were gonna do?
3-1. My other question was going to be,
How's it 3-1?
what's my favourite number?
So how's it?
2-1. What was my favourite number?
4.
It's actually linked
Oh,
to the
8.
number of technical enhancements within Tom Dean Swim School.
23. That's your favourite number?
And on that note, do you know why?
Why?
When's my birthday?
Oh yeah.
And on that note, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed Podmates and what we're going to discuss next week.
Everything.
I'll decide.
Loads of stuff.
you
Thanks for
then.
tuning in.